learned pages about this because people rely on it so heavy, and to me, if you really have skill, you don't need it. You know, because people were doing micros, all kind of braids, you know, in the United States, let alone if you go back in like our history, you know, you could look at the Caribbean, Africa, those of us who were here, you know, already, whatever, but been doing it.
Right.
We never, what did you need it for? You didn't. And maybe like people use different things like some clay, but you didn't need to.
You know, my thing is everybody wants the neat look. It's got to be neat. And it's like, it will be neat. But here's my theory, okay? Because I said this in one of my videos before. Okay, so I've been doing hair since a long time. Okay, and actually, I really got serious about it in 2008 because I went natural in 2008. But if I was to go and like get my hair done by somebody else, or that was really anybody, if you had like natural hair, they would try to like sneak a relaxer in your hair, and because they didn't know how to do it. So when I first started braiding hair in 2008, my clientele was exclusively people with natural hair. And then I got to a point where I didn't know how to do anything but natural hair. So that was interesting, but we didn't have edge control. I think there was at one point where I was making my own butters. I was using oils, you know, and I would just go to the store and get like olive oil, almond oil, you know, stuff like that. So after a while, you know, everybody started going natural. And I mean like everybody, like around 2010 or 2012, something like that. It got more popular. So in Nashville, you know, girl, we slow for everything. We just get everything so slow. People didn't know anything about natural hair in like mass quantities until about 2010, 2012, okay, in Nashville. And so when we finally did, a lot of people, and not just here, but a lot of people around that time, you know, the braider, they were blaming them for a lot of their hair struggles, you know, or getting the relaxers, you know, all of that. And a lot of it was justified because some people out here, girl, just ripping edges left and right. So people didn't feel like they could trust braiders. Remember that? So they started doing their own hair, which was great. Okay, and that's where I get into the size and stuff too. But I think it's just with so many people learning how to braid hair, which is a beautiful thing, shortcuts start coming up because they don't realize, ooh, this really do take a long time. Like, yeah. Especially when you're doing it yourself. It takes me a long time to do my own hair. So shortcuts start coming up, and then they want it to look more professional. Then everybody started coming up with all these different ways, which is fine, you know. But I mean, if these companies, they see us trying to make things look neat and tidy, which there's nothing wrong with that, then they're definitely going to try and see how they can capitalize off of that. And that's exactly what they did. You know, now we need edge control. Edge control is needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some truth to that. I absolutely think there's some truth to that. But I also think that honestly part of it comes from, at the end of the day, Eurocentric beauty standards. So people started getting heavier into the braids. When you look at it, when you rewind it anyway, a lot of the braids that we used to get, the hair, it was still very Eurocentric, very silky,
that's
curly.
true.
You know, we had the micros, all that, right? So then you fast forward to it started getting a little bit more African based in a way. You know what I mean? So like the more the braids are going all the way down, it's not about the curls necessarily always at the end. You know, but just like a little bit of the braid and the rest is curly hair, you know, or the crochet. This, that, and the other word was just the curly hair, but looser, right? So then we got to tighter and curler, and then it's still that ingrainedness of trying to make it look neat. Like your curls can't just be, or they can't be kind of halfway, right? So it got to smooth this out and give it this certain look. Gotta have that certain look, right? Because it got to the point where it's like, okay, well, we don't want flat and straight hair, but we do want somewhere in the middle. Yeah. You know, and so like I think a lot of that comes from that, and just I don't know, like it's just I think that lots of things are kind of seasonal. And if you think about just even historically, people would kind of talk about, you know, like the short natural, like even with the, like if you look at like the men, you know, when they had like smaller afros, they're talking about like the front of their hair, the BBs, this and the other. So any way to get rid of it, you know, any way to put it up, and it just translated into more, you know, because you know, our hair isn't all the same length. Sometimes people got smaller hairs growing in from the shaved hair, you know, just all those things.
That's true.
Make it look that way. So I really just think it's probably a large combination, you know.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Like the Eurocentric part is huge. That's huge. Like, and I mean, I'm not going to go so far as to say that was everything, you know, like always trying to get that. But it is a huge part of it, just having to, we don't have to do anything, but for some reason we feel like we need to have wavy or curly, and kinky is fine. It's good, it's okay. I mean, if your hair is natural, like wavy or straight, then that's fine. But yeah, it's sad, really.
It is, you know. It's kind of like, so like there's sometimes people will say to me like, oh, I wear my hair natural if it was like yours, right? And then there's some people, like even in my family, that are like, oh no, if I did that, my hair would look just like yours. You know, so like there's so many different ends of the spectrum, right? And you know, people like want what they don't have. I'm probably on the opposite end of the spectrum because I would love to have 4C hair. Like I would love it. Like I love my sister's hair. I love all, like I'll be into it. You know, but on that other spectrum, they probably, you know, like my older sister anyway, she wish she had mine, you know, versus what she got. So it's I don't know, like it's just one of those things where I think that in general, unfortunately, in the beauty world, the vast majority of people are always gonna want what they don't got. But also, I don't know. Like I mean, I'm glad to see the progress.
There's a little something going on.
For sure.
You know what I used to use? I used to use Eco Sour. That's so funny. Because I just haven't thought about that in years. That's so weird.